Thanks so much for joining me, you all. I'm trying to grow my channel, so make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications of my future videos. Hey y'all, this is Amanda with She's Mad Gardener, and as you can see, I am outside and it has been snowing here in Wylie, Texas, zone 8A, and not just a little bit of Texas snow. This is northern snow here. We've had a combined almost 10 inches, which is insane for our area. We've had temps as low as -2 here, which if you're from this area, you know that we are not an area that is ready, that has infrastructure for temperatures and extended temperatures like this and this type of snow and those type of things. So things have been pretty intense. I'm currently at my parents' house with my whole family as we have not had power. I'll have to give you guys some updates and see how my seedlings did at my house with no power. I don't know. But at least it's just seedlings. I can start over again if need be. But so things have been a little out of the ordinary this week, especially obviously for me putting out videos. So with all of this crazy snow, with all this crazy snow, I was dreaming of my cut flower gardens and hoping and wishing that a lot of my stuff that I usually comes back every year will still come back. So I decided to put together a compilation of 3 different floral arrangements that I've done in the past. They are all mixed floral arrangements, meaning they have a variety of flowers in them. And 2 of them are designs that I made in a vase, and 1 of them is a hand-tied floral design, meaning I made the arrangement in my hand and then wrapped it off, cut it, and put it in a vase. But I hope you guys enjoy this. I've listed out the names of each of the blooms and greenery that I'm using, so you can kind of check it out. But thanks for joining me on this cold day. For us, I am definitely missing my 105-degree temperatures. I mean, truthfully, prior to this cold snap, we really hadn't even had any true freezes at this point, and we're in the middle of February. So we've had a fairly mild winter so far. So this is tough for us, and I will say that I'll be posting some videos to show you how things did and if they survived and how we dealt with some different things. But you guys enjoy, and I'll chat with y'all at the end of the video. Okay, let's get started with design number 1. I'm working in an antique pitcher that belonged to my father's side of the family. He remembers it from his grandmother's home. It's a really heavy ceramic pitcher. I love it to pieces, and I design in it quite frequently. I started with a base of greenery all throughout and then went back with the floral, and the greenery kind of acts as some structure so that your blooms don't just fall to the side or fall to the bottom or anything like that. So keep that in mind when you're starting a vase arrangement. You can do that. You can also see me cleaning off the green leaves and stuff from the bottoms of the stem. You do not want any greenery, leaves, anything like that in your water because it will dirty and sour your water quicker. And then it allows the stems to pull all the water up to the areas that are actually showing outside the vase. So that's important to remember as well. For those of you who are new to She's a Mad Gardener, my gardens typically lean very heavily towards cut flower gardens. I love to cut flowers and arrange them and design with them. I love contrasting colors, contrasting textures. I don't have a lot of typical things that you might see, such as roses. I like a lot of wildflower looks. So I have a lot of that in my garden, and I share a lot about that in my channel. I do some vegetables, mainly tomatoes, cucumbers, things along those lines that I can bring in my home and use very quickly. I don't chat about them too much on the channel as of yet, but I will someday. But for now, just messing around with the flowers, it brings me a lot of joy. It brings a lot of joy to see bees and insects on my flowers outside. And it brings me a lot of joy just to take, 10 or 15 minutes, make an arrangement, and then, look at all the beautiful blooms inside my home. I did want to point out how I collected all this Victorian blue salvia over to the left side of the arrangement. It's such a small bloom that if I spread it out throughout the entire arrangement, it really wouldn't stand out. So I took 4 stems and put them in the same general area, and that makes more of a statement with that one particular bloom than if they were evenly spread out throughout the entire design. That's my sweet puppy, Buffy, peeking her head around. She's around quite frequently in all of my videos. She sticks to me like glue. I also have another dog named Rookie. He is not in the videos as much unless you hear barking. That's typically him. He's a sweet puppy, but he is not as attached to me as Buffy is. One of the most common questions I receive is how to keep your design fresher longer. And the best thing to do is pull your design out, change the water every day or so, and trim about 1/2 inch off the bottom of your stems before placing it back in fresh water. It makes such a difference in the length of life for your design. And here we go for arrangement number 2. I'm inside. I believe this was in July, so that's why I was actually inside. And I'm working with a vintage glass pitcher that I picked up from a thrift store for a mere $3. I love the green and white gingham pattern for summer especially. It was great. It was the time of the year where my purple ruffles basil was insanely large, and so I used a ton of it to start my greenery as my base for my design. Remember, we put the greenery in first and then go back with blooms, and the greenery acts as a structure to kind of hold your blooms in place. I love lots of color in my designs. I certainly do some designs that are more tonal as well, but typically during the summer, sometimes in the spring, I love for things to be bright and bold, and I think that works great in my home. It fits the personality of my family, and I just really enjoy messing with lots of different types of blooms all in one design. I love to fill my home with items that have lots of meaning, such as this table that you see. It is an antique table that my parents bought years and years and years ago, and it's the actual table that my sisters and I dyed Easter eggs and painted fingernails at. So it has a lot of meaning in my home. You'll notice through some of my other design videos that I like to make things, I like to collect items, but I'm very particular what I put in my home. It has to have function, it has to be beautiful, and it typically has to have some type of meaning for me, my husband, or my children, something along those lines. And that's taken a lot of years. I mean, I've had a household for 17 years. And so over time, I've been able to collect those things. So, I encourage you, if you're new to homemaking, and you're starting a new life and a new home, take your time. Don't fill your home with things that don't matter to you, that don't have some relevance. Take your time, collect, curate, and make sure that everything has a purpose, a function, and brings you lots of happiness and memories. Zinnias are one of my favorite blooms to grow in my cut flower garden. You can see me placing them here. I grow a wide variety of zinnias, and I have a video coming up out in the next couple of weeks that is entirely based on zinnias. I talk about what varieties I love. I talk about the size of zinnias because there's such a drastic difference. I talk about how to grow them, how to care for them, how to preserve the seeds from them, a lot of different avenues of zinnia. They are very satisfying cut flowers. So if you're interested in learning more, make sure you hit that subscribe button for my channel and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when that video comes out. I bet you didn't think I could get any more flowers in this design, but surprise, I absolutely can. Gomphrena was a new bloom for me this last year. It is fabulous, absolutely fabulous bloom, grows prolifically, just multiplies like crazy. Really enjoyed it. I wish I had taken more time to dry several of these so that I could use them during the winter time, but I will definitely be doing that this next year. I grew them in purple and I grew them in a pale pink. I've also seen them in white and in a strawberry red tone that was just absolutely stunning. So hopefully I'll be able to grow more varieties of that this coming year. And this design is all done. I love this particular video because you can see my beautiful garden in the background that's in the front of my home, and I just love it. And I wish it was not snowing and I had fresh floral right now. But here we go with arrangement number 3. This is what's called a hand-tied bouquet. So I am working with my less dominant hand, my left hand, and I'm putting the blooms in the L shape of my hand between my thumb and my pointer finger. And I'm using my right right hand to insert stems at an angle into the design. And you can see I add a stem and then I slightly rotate the bouquet so that I continue to look at the bouquet from multiple sides. It's a little wonky in the beginning when you get started with this. It feels awkward, but the more you do it, the more loose, organic, beautiful designs you're gonna be able to get. Just remember to keep adding that stem at an angle going into the design. You can see how I maneuver the bouquet and maneuver the stem. You do not wanna put the stem straight up and down up against the handle of the bouquet because all of your blooms will be smashed together at the very top. You can even see I go through on a couple of them and I'll kind of start the stem towards the center and angle it, push it through the design and then angle it as I go through. And you can see continue to rotate the bouquet. It's fun. This is a very satisfying design to do. I know a lot of beginners get super stressed out about it. Oh, look how I pulled off the petals of that one sunflower, you guys. Okay, so if that happens to you on sunflower, rip off all of those petals and leave just the center, and it is such a great texture to add to your design. But yeah, check that out. Yeah, super pretty. Okay, but yeah, if you are a beginner, a lot of beginners stress about not having perfection on their hand-tied designs. Just put the whole bouquet down if you don't like it. Put it all down, separate out your stems, and start again. It's the easiest way to make a hand-tied bouquet. You can try over and over again. And then as I complete the bouquet, I just cut a little bit of floral wire. I wrap it around the stems. I do not wrap it tightly. You can even see after I wrap it, I kind of go back and I loosen it all up a little bit. So loosen up the design, make it a little bit larger. And after I've filled my vase with water, I trim the whole design to make sure it fits appropriately in that size vase. Once I plunk it into the vase, I still even go back and loosen up the flowers. And remember, the only way I'm able to loosen up those flowers is because I did not tie it off super tight with that floral wire. I kept it kind of soft and loose so that while it holds the bouquet together, it doesn't strain or cut off any water or anything along those lines. And look how gorgeous this beautiful, organic, soft bouquet turned out. And we are all done. Thank y'all so much for sitting through this snowy day of beautiful flowers. And as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else she wants to be.